For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris. I'm a fine artist, tattoo apprentice and designer living in South Africa. Today, I want to speak to you about the risks associated with tattoos. If you see me glancing down, please forgive me, I have my notes. The first thing that I would like to speak to you about is the most obvious, and this is infection. Now, as I've said many times before, your tattoo artist or body modification artist is not a doctor, and as such, we cannot diagnose infection. However, the first point of call if you have any redness, itching, or bruising around a fresh piece of body modification is to contact your artist to get their advice. Sometimes a little bit of redness is normal. What causes infection? If your artist is unsanitary or does not follow hygiene protocols, a client not following their aftercare procedures. Now, a lot of clients don't want to hear this, and a lot of artists are begrudging to say it, but a client who doesn't clean or care for their tattoo or body modification after it's been done can cause an infection. For example, if you have a fresh tattoo and you're not cleaning your hands before you're cleaning it or before you're moisturizing it. If you have a fresh piercing and your kitty cat sleeps on the same pillow as where your ear is going to sit, you're opening yourself up to problems and you can potentially cause an infection if you're not being extremely cautious and extremely careful. How can we prevent infection? As a client, it is your job to find a reputable studio and a reputable artist. Find a studio that has really good reviews, maybe get a referral from a close friend or from a family member. And once you find an artist that you feel very comfortable with, who runs their studio in a healthy and safe manner, return to that artist over and over again. Support their small business. Make sure that their name gets out there as a safe space for clients. The second risk associated with tattoos is removal problems. Now, many people, when they think of removal, think immediately of laser. Laser is one of the options you have for tattoo removal, and the risks associated with this is that it is extremely expensive and extremely painful. A lot of people don't know that you need a minimum of 3 sessions of laser to see any kind of results. Each session needs to be 2 to 3 months apart, and as such, you may be walking around with a really patchy, unsightly tattoo for up to a year. Another option for removal is surgical removal. This is where the physical skin is cut from the body and skin is grafted in to replace it. This may leave a scar and is considered to be an elective procedure, so many health insurances and medical aid will not cover it. This procedure is also extremely painful and extremely invasive, opening you up once again to the risk of infection. The last option that I know of for removal is chemical removal. Once again, an elective surgical procedure, much like a chemical peel or a chemical burn, where the pigment of the tattoo is burnt out of the skin using corrosive chemicals. Once again, extremely painful, extremely expensive, and opens you up for the risk of infection. The third topic of risk that I would like to discuss with you today is allergic reactions. Online recently, I've seen quite a few creators discussing allergic reactions to red and green tattoo ink specifically. How is this different from a regular allergic reaction? Well, as you can imagine, a regular allergic reaction is not happening inside the skin. So when you have an allergic reaction to tattoo ink, it can be quite a bit more problematic as it is very difficult to remove the ink once it's been applied. Furthermore, I've seen people addressing allergic reactions that happen up to 3 months after their tattoo has been applied. How can we prevent allergic reactions? Preventing allergic reactions can be done with a patch test or with a swatch test. This, of course, will not prevent it, but it will minimize the amount of ink that you have in the skin and will give you an indicator of how your body may react. Here are a couple examples of patch tests or swatch tests done on different skin tones. Your artist may suggest a patch test if you are doing a color tattoo for the first time. Everybody's skin is different, everybody's pigments are different, and so it is a really good indicator of how your skin will interact with the tattoo pigment and how the pigment will look on your body. People with darker skin tones who have more melanin may find that certain colors just don't show through the natural pigment in their skin. Patch tests can be useful for many different things, but for this instance, I advise it to prevent hectic allergic reactions. You may still have a reaction, but as I said, it will be much smaller and much more localized and much easier to treat for that reason. The fourth thing that I would like to speak to you about is granulomas. Granulomas. Now, many of us have never heard this word before. What is that? Sounds crazy. A granuloma is a nodule that forms around the tattoo ink as your body tries to protect you from it. Your body views the tattoo ink as a foreign body and is trying to prevent it from moving around underneath your skin. Granulomas are quite rare, however some people are predisposed to them, much like keloid scars. What does it look like? A granuloma may form a small ball or a raised area in the tattoo where the body forms a hard calcified layer around the ink. How do we prevent granulomas? For many people, the first time they have body modification is when they learn that they are predisposed to granulomas or keloid scars. Granulomas cannot be prevented. However, if we do a patch test or if you start with a much smaller tattoo as a trial run, you may be able to see if your body is predisposed to granuloma formation. The next thing, as I mentioned previously, are keloid scars. Keloid scars or keloid formation are protrusive scars which are normally associated with trauma to the skin. However, certain people and certain skin types are predisposed to keloids. Once again, you may only find this out the first time you have any kind of body modification done. This can be incredibly disappointing to people as their tattoo will look good for about 3 to 4 days, and after a week, all of their ink will start to become shiny, their tattoo or their piercing will raise and often reject from the skin completely. As with granulomas, there is no way to prevent keloid scars. The best thing that we can do is, if you know you are prone to keloids, to do a patch test or a trial run tattoo. It's also a good idea to inform your artist before you have a tattoo session. The next topic that I would like to address is incredibly rare, and I hesitate to even bring it up. I recently completed a piece of reading from the Tattoo Association of America. This was one of the things that they listed as risks associated with tattooing. However, in their paper, they acknowledge that it is incredibly rare and mostly associated with eye tattoos or permanent makeup. So as not to be alarmist, I will say up front that there is very little research done on this and that it is very rare. However, it is only fair to give you as much information as possible. There have been numerous cases of people who have claimed that their tattoo ink becomes hot, raised, itchy, and even burns under magnetic resonance imaging or MRI. MRIs are also reported to be more unclear in an area where a person has a tattoo. As stated previously, most cases that have been reported have been surrounding the eyes and mouth for permanent makeup. However, there are a few instances where tattoo pigments have interfered with MRIs. Older tattoo pigments, especially reds and blacks, had heavy metals in them. Current regulations state that tattoo pigments may not contain any heavy metals, as they can be incredibly dangerous to one's health and safety. The last and biggest issue that I think we should address is dissatisfaction. Up to 70% of people report dissatisfaction with their body modification. Now, what leads to dissatisfaction? Poorly applied tattoos or body modification in general can lead to dissatisfaction. A change in lifestyle can lead to dissatisfaction. Perhaps they broke up with their boyfriend, or perhaps they joined a church. Aging can lead to dissatisfaction. As we all know, our bodies change and shift, our skin moves, we become saggier in places, we become tighter in other places, we become loosier, goosier, and crazier as things go on, and many people were not properly informed as to how their body modification may change. And lastly, poor maintenance leads to dissatisfaction. Did you know that your tattoos should be touched up at least once a year? Yes, all of them. So how do we prevent dissatisfaction? Of course, in some cases, there's nothing to be done. There's no way to account for a change of lifestyle. However, it's always good practice to find a tattoo artist and a tattoo studio that you trust immensely. Have consultations for every single tattoo. And I often suggest to surround yourself with the imagery of the tattoo that you're planning to get. Place it on your wallpaper of your laptop, on your phone. Get it stenciled and placed onto your body, which will last 24 to 48 hours. Get it hennaed onto your body, which will last up to 3 weeks. Place stickers or temporary tattoos in the placements in the areas that you're considering having tattoos done, and see how people react to you. See how you react to yourself. Take as much time as you need. Save up for a quality artist. Save up for color if that's what you want. Don't compromise on your tattoos. Have open and honest discussions with your artist about your thoughts and feelings on the tattoo. Has it got a lot of meaning? Has it got no meaning at all? Either way is fine, but know why you're getting body modification done. Sit with yourself, meditate on the images, meditate on the meanings behind all of your tattoos. If you, like me, get tattoos to mark where you are in your life, to be a bookmark of your experiences, of course, these things might not always apply. Sometimes it's nice to just get a frivolous new tattoo, but in terms of dissatisfaction, these are some of the highest turnover of removals. Impulsive tattoos and the names of partners are the tattoos that are removed the most frequently. Ultimately, you know yourself best, and your tattoo artist knows their craft best. The whole process to avoid dissatisfaction must be a collaboration. There needs to be some give and take, but know when to advocate for yourself. I hope that you guys have learned something, a couple new words maybe, that you have some new ideas on what to ask your artist in your next consultation, that you have some new ideas about your bodies and about your health, and that you can make more informed, wiser decisions about your body modification in the future. As I often say, leave your comments down below. Good luck, have fun, and be safe. Bye for now.